The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, we look forward to what's ahead in 2024 with city, state, and local business leaders. The Fire Department Special Services Unit recognizes new members and promotions, and repair work on St. Anne's Church is moving along. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, January 11th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Fall River experienced two weather events over the past week. A small winter storm that dropped about 3 inches of snow in the city on Sunday, and a heavy rainstorm on Tuesday and Wednesday. Fortunately, there were no reports of any widespread damage. During times of severe weather, particularly in the winter, part of the city's focus is ensuring the homeless are attended to. Mayor Paul Coogan says the First Step Inn at Stepping Stone Incorporated on Durfee Street can host up to 50 individuals, with another 20 to 30 housed at the Overflow Center at the Tomeo Center on Bay Street.
The Tomeo Center runs a day program there too, where they can come down, get lunch, get a shower, do their laundry, talk to a job counselor. There are things we're trying to do to get these people lifted up out of their present conditions, and it is a struggle. And that Tomeo Center was funded. A big significant part of that was both homeless money and CARES money. So that was federal money that we were able to pour into there to create that place. I think the other night they had 20 people there on the Overflow. So between the First Step Inn, which is our traditional housing place and has 50, and the Overflow, we're servicing a good chunk of people.
The mayor says the city's street outreach team is gathering information on the homeless individuals they encounter and entering that information into a database to track their condition and needs. The city relies on state and federal funds to pay for homeless services, money that may soon be in short supply. Regardless, the mayor says the work will continue.
Between the state and the federal government and the city of Fall River, we're trying to do our best to, keep people safe, warm, fed, and housed. But you have to understand, you're dealing with people that have a lot of dual diagnosis between mental health and addiction, and it goes on and on and on. Throw in a good dose of loneliness and anxiety, and you're dealing with a very challenging population. And we have some great people in the field, whether it's the Tomeo Center, the First Step Inn, or the outreach team, working with these people to try to better their lot. We tried it last summer. We're going to probably try to expand it this summer with a street cleanup program to try to get the guys working and make a little bit of spending money. We do more in trying to get them into treatment, and those are the things we're going to focus on. It is a nationwide problem. People have to understand that this is not a Fall River problem. It's a nationwide problem. We just have our piece of it, and we try to do our best to help those people.
As we begin 2024, we wanted to look at what are the goals of some of our local leaders. During our weekly conversation with Mayor Coogan this week, he says he wants to continue to focus on improving the quality of life of all city residents.
We have a number of things we're going to work on. I was with Danny Aguirre yesterday going over streets. We have some new initiatives down on the waterfront we're looking at the city pier. We just were meeting with Sam in the back. We had a very successful Christmas parade. We had a very successful Christmas concert, but those are in the rearview mirror. And now we're thinking of some things we can do for the summer to make living in Fall River a little better for all of our residents, whether it's a seafood festival, a concert, a craft fair. Those are things we're thinking of to try to draw people in. And obviously we've had great success with the food trucks. So we'll see how it plays out. But we're already planning. It's January, and we're already planning for when the weather breaks. So if people bear with us, we'll get through.
Fall River State Senator Michael Rodrigues is one of the most powerful individuals on Beacon Hill in his role as chair of the Budget Writing Senate Committee on Ways and Means. His priority remains using his position to bring needed financial resources to the communities of Greater Fall River. Delivering money to Fall River, however, may get a bit more challenging this coming year after it was announced that tax collections in Massachusetts are significantly below projections to the tune of nearly $800 million. Governor Maura Healey this week was forced to make mid-year budget cuts totaling $375 million to the state's $56 billion spending plan. Senator Rodrigues says the drop in revenue was the result of the influx of pandemic-related money from the federal government that has since dried up.
All this money flowed into the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and it trickled through the economy until we, in the state tax revenues in our coffers, were the recipient of amazing revenue growth. And we were very responsible for that revenue growth. We have over $8 billion currently in our rainy day fund, with so-called stabilization fund. When I took over as chair of Ways and Means in February of 2019, it stood at $1.9 billion. So great investments in our savings account. We've built up reserve funds to ensure the Student Opportunity Act can be fully funded over the next few years. Our additional investments in community colleges, for free community colleges for those age 25 or older. So we've made amazing investments, very responsible, very fiscally prudent investments. But now that these federal dollars have stopped, it's coming home to roost in the form of revenues that are being reduced. So we just have to manage our way through that, and I'm confident we will.
Senator Rodrigues and his colleagues are preparing for the next state budget, which is slated to take effect in July. He says predicting how much revenue will be raised 6 months from now is a difficult task, but there are signs of stability.
Our economy continues to grow. Currently, we are not in a recession. GDP continues to grow in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Employment numbers are at pre-pandemic levels, less than 3% unemployment. And if you look at all the levels of revenue that the Commonwealth receives, so-called withholding taxes, which are payroll taxes, have increased, and they're actually above benchmark, which means people are working and paying taxes. Meals taxes have increased. Not only people working, they're also going out to eat, and you can experience that anecdotally when you visit our restaurants in the area. They're always full. But the other area is sales tax. And why is sales tax taking a nosedive? Primarily because of the big ticket items, new car sales. The biggest one, with interest rates being as high as they are, people are not buying big ticket items where they have to go out and borrow for.
The senator says he has the utmost respect for the Healey administration after their first year in office.
Governor Healey is very accessible. She's very approachable. I'm lucky that in my position, we meet regularly in so-called leadership meetings where myself and the Senate President sit down with the Speaker of the House and House Chair of Ways and Means, and the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and her Secretary of Administration and Finance. So we have, as it was with Governor Baker, we have developed a close personal relationship, and she has a great partner in Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll. Lieutenant Governor Driscoll was the mayor of Salem for 13 years. I mean, Salem is a city very similar to Fall River, and I think serving as a mayor of a city the size of Salem or Fall River is probably the hottest job in government. And she did so wonderfully in Salem, and it's just been an amazing partner with myself, with my team, with the city of Fall River, Mayor Coogan, and all of the municipalities. So it's been a real pleasure working with Governor Healey.
What's the outlook for local businesses in 2024? Michael O'Sullivan, the CEO of the SouthCoast Chamber of Commerce, says even though the country did not enter a recession in 2023 as predicted, not all economic indicators point to a continuation of the growth economy that took place soon after the end of the pandemic.
there's a lot of factors in the economy that have slowed the economy down. There are some units of measure that the government has always used that don't necessarily give you the indication that we might be slower. It's great to see gas prices down below $3 for the first time in a long time, but they're also a lot higher than they were 2 or 3 years ago, or 3 years ago. The economy's not booming like it was, and I think there's a lot of good things that can happen in 2024, and I think a lot of things that the cities and towns are looking at, in particular like Fall River, New Bedford, they're really looking at trying to figure out how to solve the housing crisis and get more housing units built, and they're trying to do the right things in those areas. You've got the Route 79 development project in Fall River is doing great. At some point this year, SouthCoast Rail should be live, which I think is going to help a lot as well. So there's good things and challenging things.
Mr. O'Sullivan says since the influx of COVID-related funding has run dry, people did not spend as much this holiday season on big-ticket items. Restaurants continue to see a steady business with limited growth.
I have a brother-in-law who's a banker who says, don't tell me there isn't money to be spent, because when you go out and you look and you see, you see the traffic on the weekends and things like that. But yeah, the hospitality industry is doing very well. But they still struggle because of the number of workers that they have. So there's always a caveat attached to that. And I know a few people say, don't tell me restaurants are struggling. They're busy, they do okay, do well in some cases, but they still struggle for staffing, so they're held back some.
Real estate is not changing hands at the same rate as a few years ago, as buyers are waiting to upgrade once interest rates are lower. Mr. O'Sullivan says high interest rates may not be as impactful for businesses looking for capital to expand.
I think it's affected some. It hasn't affected everybody, because I think if you're creative enough, and there's, the commercial lenders with organizations like Seed and some others that are involved in the SBA, there's a lot of flexibility to try to help keep the money moving, to get businesses get started, so the economy can keep moving and do well. You really have to be able to just ask your banker. You got to have good relationships with your bankers, really matter at times like this.
Mr. O'Sullivan says lower than anticipated tax collections in Massachusetts may further slow down the economy, but not to the point of widespread disruption. We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. DC Operations Manager, JS International, located at 485 Commerce Drive, seeks a full-time DC Operations Manager, responsible for the operational infrastructure within the data center, including maintaining budgets and cost analysis. Job number 202-22926. Floating Universal Banker. Baycoast Bank, located at 310 Airport Road, is seeking a full-time floating universal banker to provide banking products and services to new and existing customers at various locations. Job number 202-23070. Customer Service Representative. Tech Systems, located at 70 William Street, is looking for a full-time customer service representative responsible for managing incoming calls, customer service inquiries, and assessing customer needs. Job number 202-20243. Director of Outpatient Services. Stepping Stone, located at 279 North Main Street, is looking for a full-time Director of Outpatient Services. For more information, call 508-679-0033. Veolia Water North America, located at 1979 Bay Street, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Sewer System Technician, job number 202-202-27. Lab Technician, job number 202-202-23. For more information about these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. The Fall River Fire Department Special Services Unit this week installed 4 new volunteer members and promoted 2 others. Among them, longtime Deputy Chief Richard Aguiar, who earned the rank of Chief. The Special Services Unit provides emergency management support for firefighters and police officers on the scene of extended incidents. Fire Department Chief Roger St. Martin said Chief Aguiar has been the linchpin of the city's emergency management efforts for over 50 years.
During his tenure, EMA Director Deputy Chief Aguiar has secured hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants for the Fall River Fire and Special Services Departments. Rick has recouped millions of dollars for the city of Fall River following natural disasters through FEMA and created a volunteer organization with a defined rank structure. He has amassed a fleet of vehicles and a dedicated, well-trained cadre of volunteers who are second to none. The evolution of the Fall River Fire Special Services today is a culmination of Deputy Richard Aguiar's vision, efforts, and leadership.
Promotion is just words, but I guess the way Chief Samos eloquently spoke, it's not just words. So I'm grateful to accept this. I've been asked many times over, why do you do what you do for so many years? Well, I guess the only thing I can say is that I love what I do.
Robert J. Correa was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and the department welcomed 4 new volunteer privates who had to undergo extensive training to learn the operation and equipment within the Special Services Department. Private Heidi Lynn Trial spoke on behalf of the 4 recruits and said they're all honored to be part of a dedicated team supporting public safety officials and the community at large.
It is about being in an organization as a volunteer and helping where help is needed. It is about standing side by side with an amazing group of people who all have the same vision, the same heart. Special Services is providing us an opportunity to give back to our community and embrace those in need when we can. It may not seem like it is a big deal, but to that firefighter, getting that cool wet towel during a heat wave or a safe place to warm up during a blizzard, to them it means the world. To that displaced family who is in disbelief because they just lost their home, our compassion, smiles, and a warm blanket can make such a difference.
Also installed as privates were Joseph Kudo, Dennis Flynn, and Michael Almeida. The St. Anne's Church Preservation Society is making progress in the renovation of the historic shrine on South Main Street. Just in the past month, staging has been erected and work has begun on making repairs to the roof on the south side of the late 19th century church. The next step will be repairing the shrine's interior.
They are up there now, fixing all the broken tiles. They are completely replacing the gutter system. The gutter system goes back over a century with all new copper gutters, sufficient in size enough to be able to handle all the water from that roof, because that roof is pretty massive. We anticipate that within a couple of weeks that side of the project will be done. That said, probably in the spring, we'll probably start on the other side, which is the north side, which is where the old Dominican Academy is. And so hopefully by the end of spring, the roof and the gutters and the downspouts will all be upgraded with completely new materials. The roof itself doesn't leak like a normal roof in a house does. What it is the roof was leaking into the walls, and the walls, the plaster was falling off the walls. So structurally, it's very, very safe. I mean, this building is in very good shape, but it's just the plaster that was on the walls.
With the help of private donations, 2 areas of the chapel downstairs are being renovated, which will be completed by early spring.
We've taken the St. Jude Chapel and we've turned it into an adoration chapel. Our chaplain is Father Father Murphy, and he's given us a little bit of spiritual guidance on this. And very soon, it's almost done, we will have adoration all day during the day. We're open 10 to 4 every day, and on Sundays we're open 12 to 4. So the Adoration Chapel will be completely all remodeled, new floor, and people can come in anytime during the day and sign up to do adoration. The second big accomplishment is the crypt, where the original priests who built the building, bought the land, and Father Mashadon are buried. And Providence College, the Dominican Order of Providence College, has given us the money to rehab it, so we're very, very thankful for that. We've taken all the walls down. We've put in a sump pump to stop water from coming in, and right now they are plastering the walls. They've replaced the walls, and they're plastering it as we speak. So we're hoping that within a couple of months we'll have a rededication of the crypt at St. Anne's.
Mr. Garvin says the City of Fall River has been extremely helpful in providing guidance and resource recommendations to the Preservation Society. The price tag to fully renovate the historic church has been reduced in half to now between $6.5 and $7 million. The Preservation Society is nearly 5 years into a 10-year lease with the Diocese of Fall River to restore the church. Mr. Garvin says he's hopeful the goal of the project will be reached.
Our goal is to, at the end of the 10-year lease, which we have 5.5 years to go, is to have this be in tremendous shape. And it's really a beacon of the Catholic faith in the city of Fall River. I mean, when you come over, we've had the lights put on so that you can see the lights. You can see the church at night when you're coming over the Braga Bridge. It really is. It's one of the highest points in the city of Fall River. So our goal is really to run the shrine, to make it a place for pilgrimage for people to come, and to have this building in the best shape of any church in the diocese. And we're getting there. We're getting there.
Those interested in donating to the Preservation Society's capital campaign or to help defray the cost of operating expenses can find out more information on the Shrine's website. We'll wrap up this edition of FRC Media News right after this.
Hi everyone, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. With me today I have Draco. Draco is one of our Puerto Rico kittens. Draco is about 18 weeks. He came in with a handful of other kittens, and he is definitely a love bug, super sweet. Something special about Draco is he does have a nub tail, definitely super short. I don't know if they had to amputate the tail or if he was born that way, but doesn't affect him at all. Definitely super playful, super sweet guy. Loves snuggles, loves to come out and say hi to everyone. If you're interested in meeting Draco, you can go on our website, foreverpaws.com, and fill out an application. Once you've filled out an application, you can come visit Draco at Forever Paws at 300 Linwood Street. Today with me, I have Margarita. Margarita is a Cane Corso Mastiff. She is 3 years old. Margarita is a little bit shy. She's, taking a while just to get used to the shelter life. Right now, just because Margarita is such a larger dog, she's actually about 100 pounds. We do have her as the only dog in the household if you were looking to adopt. No cats and children over 12. Margarita is going to take a while just to come out of her shell with whoever ends up adopting her or fostering, just because she is so nervous. Because Margarita is a Cane Corso, there is a little bit of hygiene you do have to do with them, just because the skin around their face is saggy. You do just have to occasionally, wipe their eyes. If you're interested in trying to meet Margarita, go on our website and fill out an application at foreverpaws.com, and then give us a call and come visit Margarita at 300 Linwood Street at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website at frmedia.org for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us here at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Thursday.